How did a mass-produced sparkling wine with added sugar become the world's most prestigious champagne brand worth over $2 billion annually? Veuve Clicquot sells in 160 countries, commands $60 plus per bottle, and dominates luxury events from Monaco yacht clubs to Aspen ski resorts. LVMH reports it is their fastest-growing champagne division. But what champagne experts won't tell you is that Yellow Label contains more added sugar than most dessert wines, uses grapes from industrial farms across multiple regions, and is produced in quantities that dwarf actual artisan champagnes by 50 to 1. All by exploiting one simple marketing principle that turns mass production into perceived exclusivity. But to understand how Veuve Clicquot transformed industrial winemaking into a luxury empire, we need to start at the beginning. The year is 1805. Napoleon is conquering Europe. French luxury goods are becoming symbols of sophistication worldwide. And in the cellars of Reims, a 27-year-old widow named Barbe Nicole Clicquot is about to revolutionize champagne forever. After her husband's sudden death, Madame Clicquot took control of his wine business at a time when women rarely held commercial power. Within years, she developed the riddling table, a wooden rack with holes that allowed bottles to be placed at precise angles. This innovation enabled sediment to collect in the bottleneck for easy removal, resulting in the first clear champagne in history. But her genius did not stop there. In 1810, she created the first recorded vintage champagne, using grapes exclusively from a single exceptional harvest. These technical innovations established genuine superiority in both clarity and complexity, earning Veuve Clicquot royal patronage across European courts. Tsar Alexander I declared it his favorite champagne, helping the brand penetrate the Russian aristocracy. For the next 150 years, Veuve Clicquot remained what it was intended to be, a small artisan producer focused on quality and innovation. Their annual production rarely exceeded 2 million bottles, each crafted with meticulous attention to terroir expression and aging potential. They served aristocracy and connoisseurs who understood champagne craftsmanship, appreciating the subtle mineral notes from specific limestone-rich vineyard sites. But in 1987, everything changed. LVMH, Moet Hennessy. Louis Vuitton acquired the brand in a strategic takeover that would transform a boutique champagne house into a global marketing machine. LVMH executives, led by Bernard Arnault, recognized something profound in Veuve Clicquot's Yellow Label, not just a champagne, but a potential lifestyle symbol with massive scaling potential. In boardrooms across Paris, LVMH executives asked themselves one crucial question: what if we could scale artisan prestige to mass-market volumes while maintaining premium pricing? The answer would create a blueprint for transforming authentic luxury products into global commercial powerhouses without sacrificing profit margins. Scaling Veuve Clicquot presented LVMH with 4 fundamental challenges that required a complete reinvention of production. Problem 1 was the production scale challenge: true champagne. Terroir requires specific vineyard sites, the right soil composition, limited grape yields to ensure concentration, and time-intensive methods that simply cannot produce millions of bottles each year without compromising quality. The Grand Cru and Premier Cru vineyards that supplied Veuve Clicquot's finest grapes comprised only a fraction of the Champagne region's total acreage. Problem 2 involved consistency versus complexity. Artisan champagnes naturally vary by vintage and terroir, creating flavor profiles that change from year to year. Traditional Veuve Clicquot bottlings reflected the climate conditions of specific years, sometimes austere and mineral-driven, other times richer and more fruit-forward. Global consumers, however, demanded predictable taste experiences, especially at premium price points. Problem 3 centered on global distribution demands. Luxury retailers and restaurants worldwide needed reliable supply chains and consistent inventory, something small batch production could not deliver. Seasonal variations in grape harvests meant traditional champagne houses often sold out of popular vintages, creating frustration among retailers who needed dependable stock levels. Problem 4 was the cost reality. Traditional champagne methods required expensive vineyard ownership in Grand Cru villages such as Ambonnet and Bouzy, extended aging periods of a minimum of 3 to 5 years for quality development, and skilled cellar masters overseeing each stage of production, all of which would make global expansion financially impossible if artisan standards were maintained. LVMH recognized one final factor that would prove crucial to their strategy: the market education barrier. Most consumers could not distinguish between authentic champagne complexity and mass-produced consistency. The average champagne drinker lacked the palate training to identify the difference between industrial production and artisan craftsmanship, creating an opportunity to prioritize marketing over winemaking. LVMH's solution was brilliantly simple, yet fundamentally transformative. Rather than maintaining Veuve Clicquot's artisan approach and accepting limited growth, they reinvented the production model while preserving the brand imagery. First, they increased dosage levels significantly. Dosage is the sugar solution added after disgorgement that determines the final sweetness level. Out went dry, complex profiles that required educated palates to appreciate. In came sweet, approachable flavors that appealed to mass markets, while conveniently masking terroir characteristics. Yellow Label's sugar content increased from 6 grams per litre to approximately 10 to 12 grams, technically still classified as brut, but significantly sweeter than traditional artisan champagnes. Second, they abandoned single vineyard sourcing for region-wide grape purchasing. Instead of relying exclusively on Grand Cru and Premier Cru vineyards, LVMH expanded sourcing to include grapes from throughout the Champagne region, using industrial farming methods across multiple appellations to ensure massive volume production. This allowed production to scale exponentially while maintaining the legal Champagne designation. But here is where the real trickery begins. They maintained the original Madame Clicquot branding and storytelling while completely transforming the production methods behind it. The Yellow Label remained virtually unchanged. The Widow Clicquot's portrait and signature still adorned marketing materials. The founding year, 1772, featured prominently on bottles and advertisements, yet the liquid inside bore little resemblance to the champagnes Madame Clicquot herself had created. This strategy exploited a legal champagne loophole. Because grapes still came from the Champagne region and followed basic production requirements regarding secondary fermentation, they could legally call it champagne despite using industrial methods that contradicted traditional terroir principles. The appellation rules focused on geography and basic methodology rather than qualitative standards, creating a perfect opportunity for mass-scale production under luxury branding. This embodies the marketing lesson number 1: when you cannot scale quality, scale perception. As wine industry executive Robert Parker once candidly observed, the consumer buys the marketing, not the wine. LVMH understood this principle perfectly and executed it flawlessly with Veuve Clicquot. But creating mass-produced champagne was only the beginning. Now they had to convince the world it was still luxury. And that is when LVMH unleashed one of the most brilliant lifestyle marketing strategies in luxury goods history. A comprehensive approach that would forever change how premium alcohol brands position themselves. LVMH executives walked into polo clubs, ski resorts, and yacht races with a simple mission: make Veuve Clicquot synonymous with elite lifestyle experiences rather than winemaking expertise. They approached event organizers with generous sponsorship packages that included branded tents, umbrellas, furniture, and of course abundant champagne, creating distinctive Clicquot yellow moments that would dominate social media before social media even existed. The genius of association became their central strategy. Rather than trying to convince wine critics that industrial champagne met artisan standards, an argument they would likely lose, they bypassed expert opinion entirely. They sponsored every event where wealthy people gathered, created photo opportunities with celebrities, and let social proof do the selling. When consumers saw Veuve Clicquot at Formula One races, film festivals, and fashion weeks, they automatically associated the brand with success, wealth, and sophistication. This positioning revolution changed everything. Veuve Clicquot did not position itself as superior champagne. It positioned itself as the champagne of successful people, shifting focus from product quality to social status. The message was not that you should drink this because it is exceptional, but rather that exceptional people drink this. The distinction proved immensely powerful in driving consumer behavior. Their distribution strategy reinforced this positioning. LVMH secured exclusive pouring rights at prestigious venues worldwide, ensuring Veuve Clicquot became the only champagne option at many high-profile locations. This embodied marketing lesson number 2: control the narrative by controlling the venues. As luxury marketing expert Jean-Noël Capferat observed, luxury is not about the product, it is about the context in which it is consumed. The Yellow Label became a signal, not of champagne expertise, but of belonging to a certain class of global consumer. LVMH transformed Veuve Clicquot from a beverage into a symbolic accessory that communicated status as effectively as a designer handbag or luxury watch, but at a fraction of the price point. The results were nothing short of spectacular. Within just 15 years, from 1990 to 2005, Veuve Clicquot went from 2 million bottles annually to over 15 million bottles, a 650% increase while maintaining $60 plus pricing. This growth trajectory continued, with recent reports suggesting annual production exceeding 19 million bottles. Market domination followed quickly. The brand that was once a boutique champagne house was now outselling entire regions of artisan producers combined, capturing 8% of global champagne market share. For perspective, the entire Champagne region produces approximately 300 million bottles annually, meaning Veuve Clicquot alone accounts for roughly 6 to 7% of all champagne worldwide, a staggering figure for what presents itself as a prestige brand. But dominating volume was just phase 1. LVMH knew something critical. If they wanted true luxury status, they needed to be everywhere affluent consumers gathered. So they built strategic partnerships with luxury hotels, Michelin-starred restaurants, and exclusive clubs worldwide, ensuring Veuve Clicquot appeared at every high-end celebration from Milan to Manhattan. Cultural penetration became their next achievement. Through careful product placement in films, television shows, and celebrity events, Veuve Clicquot established itself as the default champagne of celebration. The distinctive Yellow Label became instantly recognizable across cultural contexts, appearing in everything from hip-hop videos to royal weddings. Throughout the 2000s, wine critics began questioning the brand's authenticity. Several prominent sommeliers pointed to high dosage levels and industrial production methods, but the defense came from LVMH, which brilliantly turned criticism into marketing opportunities by emphasizing accessibility over exclusivity. Their unofficial response became, "We make champagne for consumers, not critics," positioning critics as elitist while portraying Veuve Clicquot as democratizing luxury. By 2010, Veuve Clicquot was dominating luxury champagne sales, but LVMH saw an opportunity worth hundreds of millions more, convincing consumers that industrial production actually represented authentic French terroir. This required a masterclass in marketing misdirection. LVMH did not see a contradiction between mass production and luxury positioning. They saw another marketing opportunity to exploit widespread consumer ignorance about champagne production. Most champagne drinkers could not explain the production process, did not understand the concept of terroir, and had never visited the Champagne region. This knowledge gap created perfect conditions for narrative manipulation. So, Veuve Clicquot created ground Marque positioning, suggesting their industrial scale proved superior expertise rather than compromised quality. The term was elevated to imply technical superiority and historical significance. Marketing materials emphasized the brand's longevity and royal connections while carefully avoiding specifics about current production methods. Despite sourcing grapes from multiple regions using industrial methods, LVMH chose to market Veuve Clicquot with romantic imagery of single vineyards and traditional craftsmanship. Their advertisements featured hand-riddling racks, chalk cellars, and vineyards bathed in golden light, creating a powerful visual narrative that contradicted the industrial reality of most Yellow Label production. The genius of this misdirection became evident in their technical language. Veuve Clicquot marketing materials described industrial processes using artisan terminology, calling mass purchasing careful selection, calling standardized flavor profiles house style, and referring to aging on lees without specifying the dramatically shortened timeframes compared to traditional methods. If you read the technical specifications closely, they reveal industrial production methods disguised as artisan terminology. Terms like consistent house style, mask the reality of large-scale blending that eliminates terroir expression. Signature Yellow Label focuses attention on packaging rather than contents. Reserve wines implies quality when the term actually refers to using older wines to mask the characteristics of weaker recent harvests. But eventually, wine professionals noticed the growing disconnect between Veuve Clicquot's luxury image and its production reality. Sommeliers began questioning why consumers paid premium prices for what they recognized as mass-produced champagne with high sugar content. Articles appeared in wine publications analyzing blind tastings where Yellow Label consistently underperformed against smaller producers at similar price points. Independent champagne producers filed complaints with French wine authorities, claiming the industrial methods of LVMH undermined authentic champagne terroir and pricing. Small grower producers who make champagne exclusively from their own vineyards with minimal intervention argued that mass-market brands like Veuve Clicquot were devaluing the appellation's reputation for authenticity and place-specific character. The defense from LVMH was technically sound but philosophically revealing. They said they follow all legal champagne production requirements and provide the consistent quality consumers prefer. This argument highlighted the fundamental divide in wine philosophy. Should champagne represent place and tradition, or should it deliver reliable consumer satisfaction regardless of production scale? The controversy raised a harder question for the industry: when industrial production becomes indistinguishable from luxury marketing. What defines authentic champagne? Does champagne's value derive from production methods and terroir expression, or from brand perception and lifestyle association? LVMH's success with Veuve Clicquot suggested the latter was far more commercially viable. As of today, Veuve Clicquot continues growing market share globally. LVMH reports record profits from their champagne division, with Yellow Label driving substantial revenue growth year over year. Consumers remain largely unaware of the production reality behind the Yellow Label, and they continue to pay premium prices for what wine professionals recognize as fundamentally industrial sparkling wine. Here is the final lesson Veuve Clicquot teaches us. LVMH did not sell champagne. They sold the feeling of champagne, the celebration, the status, the lifestyle experience. The actual liquid was almost secondary to the powerful associations they built around the Yellow Label. The quantified transformation is staggering, from 2 million bottles of artisan champagne to 15+ million bottles of industrial luxury. It was a 650% increase while maintaining premium pricing through pure marketing genius. Few luxury products in history have achieved such scale without corresponding price reductions. They did not significantly change what was inside the bottle. They changed what people believed the bottle represented, transforming mass production into perceived exclusivity. This is a lesson in perception management and stands as one of the most successful luxury marketing case studies in modern business history. This embodies a fundamental marketing philosophy. In luxury goods, authenticity does not matter as much as association does. When consumers buy Veuve Clicquot, they are not buying champagne. They are buying membership in an aspirational lifestyle. They are purchasing a moment of belonging to a global community of success and sophistication, regardless of the liquid's actual production methods. As one LVMH marketing executive candidly admitted at an industry conference, in champagne, as in all luxury goods, the story sells the product, not the other way around. Veuve Clicquot proves this story spectacularly, generating billions in revenue from effective storytelling rather than exceptional winemaking. Now, if you like this breakdown of how LVMH transformed industrial champagne into luxury prestige, hit that subscribe button for more content exposing the marketing machinery behind luxury brands. We will be analyzing everything from watches to fashion to reveal how perception management drives premium pricing. If you want to understand luxury marketing psychology on a deeper level, check out our free guide breaking down the hidden strategies luxury conglomerates use to justify premium pricing. It's available through the link in the description and provides actionable insights you can apply to your own business. The next time you see that distinctive Yellow Label at a celebration, remember you are not just looking at champagne. You are looking at one of the most successful transformations of mass production into luxury perception ever executed. a case study in how effective marketing can completely redefine product value regardless of production methods. The lesson from Veuve Clicquot is not just about champagne marketing. It is about how global luxury conglomerates can maintain artisan pricing while delivering industrial products, as long as the marketing story remains more compelling than the production reality. It is about the power of perception over substance and how controlling context ultimately matters more than controlling quality. It is about building desire through association rather than excellence, perhaps the most valuable marketing lesson luxury brands have perfected over the past 3 decades.